Caroline, Director of PR and Content at Westgate Communications, who are a PR, content and design agency based in Sevenoaks, delivering outstanding creative solutions, delivering creative excellence, building brands, growing businesses. Hello, Caroline. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Good.
You both look very well.
Sorry?
You both look very well.
Oh, thank you. Oh, gosh. This is my lockdown look.
It's very difficult. I'll tell you what, Zoom lighting is not flattering ever. So you managed to get some natural daylight on you at least.
I did. Unfortunately, I'm in front of a couple of windows, but...
Do you know what? Do you know, if we're going to be really truthful here, before every live stream, Jack has a panic about his lighting. If we're going to be really truthful and give you a behind-the-scenes look, he'll always spend 5 minutes shuffling around with curtains and blinds or whatever he's got in front of him there, making sure that that light is hitting his face perfectly.
I'm a videographer. It's my trade. It's in my interest to make sure I get these things right.
To look beautiful.
Well, it's paid off, I've noticed, so that's always good.
There we go, Jack.
Bingo. All right. Again,
Well, thanks both for having me anyway.
I'm sorry?
Thank you both for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. It's great. People contributing. We really appreciate it. So I don't know very much, I'll be honest, about the world of PR. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do as a company, the services you offer and things like that?
So we focus on communication. So it's very much about making sure that our clients' messages are on point, basically to support them to either get rich or get famous in sort of the basic terms. And it's about making sure that whatever they're saying resonates with who their target audience is, and that it's pushed out in the channels that are best appropriate for them. So sometimes we have clients who will say, I want to be on the Daily Mail. And sometimes we say, okay, does that serve what you want to do? And if it's less, then we craft loads of stories that hopefully will get them on the Daily Mail. And if it's not appropriate, then we say, actually, have you thought about looking at maybe more sector appropriate press, or why do you want to be on the Daily Mail? Is it just for your ego? Which sometimes it can be.
Yeah, I imagine. That sounds like quite a challenging job or service.
Yeah, it has its moments. You kind of have to love it. I suppose it's true of most industries. It can be very demanding, it can be very time pressured. Obviously, it's delivery against, you're not necessarily paying the press for inclusion. So sometimes stories get dropped at the last minute, which is really frustrating. But at the same time, you kind of live for the times when the good stuff rolls and you come in and you think, yeah, that was bloody excellent.
So do you work predominantly with individuals or companies or a mixture? Or?
Generally, it tends to be companies. So we'll work either with depending on the size of the client, either directly with the MD or perhaps with their in-house marketing or communications team to support them. But yeah, we have worked with individuals in the past as well. So yeah, generally our clients are kind of SMEs, so right on point for this. Yeah, we sort of work with them to build either their corporate profile or, as I say, just make more consumers aware of what services and products they might be selling or wanting to push. Sure.
And I guess now, given the current situation, I mean, press and communications have never been more important.
Yes, exactly. It's something that we've seen over the last, 7 weeks or however long it's been now, that some companies have massively ballsed it up, to put it bluntly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big companies as well have really messed it up because they might have been portrayed in the press and have their reputation damaged because they've not been either handling their employees correctly, managing how they are navigating this weird period where people are suddenly working from home, people are being furloughed, people are being, especially at the beginning, no one knew what they were doing. So some people were being sent into work when actually maybe they shouldn't have been putting makeup on a client for on a beauty desk in a department store, but because it wasn't clear cut and those massive companies that own those beauty boutiques or clothing stores or whatever it was might not have been directing their staff, and they kind of suffered a lot at the beginning because they were seen to be huge companies that weren't necessarily putting the most important things first.
Right.
So yeah, communications can be really damaging. On the plus side though, it can really shout about the individual work that people are doing to support what's happening. So we've seen quite a lot of alcohol producers, including distillers here in Kent. So I know that Shepherd Neame and Copper Rivet have joined together to produce some hand sanitizer, as well as other producers in the county. So it can really help show how businesses really care. And of course, you guys setting up your local delivery to support kind of local businesses and producers to really make sure that they can continue going. If it's communicated in the right way and it gets the message out there, it can be really effective building brand reputation for a really long time, and it will really make people remember, and it will be one of those things that people say, well, what did you do back in the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been involved with it, of course, haven't you, on your local delivery?
Yeah, so I've been working with Ben for a few weeks now, I think, looking to push your local delivery where possible in the media, and just make a bit of noise around it, really, to make sure that people that could benefit from the services know what's there, but also that, you know, other businesses really can keep going and keep serving and don't have to worry about the fact they're not particularly tech strong.
Yeah.
At this moment in time, and they know that there's someone who can help them, which is really invaluable.
Absolutely. I mean, you touched on there how vital it is for a company like ourselves to kind of, you know, contribute, and that's something that we're looking to sort of show in the long term what we did when things kind of went south, the small pandemic. But I think more importantly, it's about keeping that local trade alive, to keep those businesses going, because it's good not just for the main economy but for the local economy as well. I think we've lost you. Are you back?
Yeah,
Caroline,
no, exactly.
we've lost your picture slightly, Caroline.
Oh dear.
I don't know what's happened there.
I can still hear you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We can carry on whilst doing it. I just wanted to quickly say whilst we're on it, yeah, Westgate Communications have been brilliant for us, and I think even Pip said it the other day. Like, he's worked with a few press and PR companies, and, you know, sorry to give you a testimonial whilst you're there. If we could see you, you'd be going red right now, I'd hope. Yeah, he turned around and said that you know, we're so impressed with the help that Westgate have given us so far with your local delivery. We've had a number of features that we'd never have been able to get if it wasn't for the guys there, and just the way that they went about putting the press release together helped us learn the structure of that press release and what we needed to go into it. Like, Caroline and the team have been amazing. So I just wanted to pitch in there, Caroline, and just publicly say thank you to you guys at Westgate for the help you've given us with your local delivery. Obviously, you haven't charged us anything, you haven't asked for anything in return. We've just partnered up on it, so we couldn't thank you enough for that.
Yeah.
Oh no, thank you. And I think it is something that people, whenever you talk to someone about PR or communications, whether that's a business owner or even someone who is in marketing, they kind of sometimes are a bit scared of it. And you think, well, actually, if you take it down to basics, it can be really just a practical way of arranging your information on a page that makes all the difference. And it's something we're finding with the media at the moment, because so many media teams a few years ago, because of the abundance of online content, they diversified their own income streams. They earn through advertising and events and things, stuff that's not happening at the moment. So they've had to furlough their team or change how they work. And it means that when we're looking to communicate with them and build relationships with them, at the moment it's a bit more complicated, because we can't just pick up the phone because they're not at the office. And we might be talking to someone different because they are covering a different patch, or they're covering different working patterns at the moment because someone else is looking after children or a sick relative. So I think the way that we kind of see it is, it's all about making sure that they understand what the story is and why it's relevant to their target audience. And that's how we always try and build our communications, whether you're talking about a really complicated, like off-grid energy supplier, or whether you're talking about a local food producer. They're two very different sectors, but they both have some elements of practicality and just making sure that the message is clear and it resonates with who they want it to resonate with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
It sounds like, you know, it's been challenging for every business, in any business, but communication and getting the messages out there has been key, I think, for everybody. So, you know, it's are you finding it? Are you finding it challenging yourself to get the message and the tone right?
I think it's a different way of working, and I think that we have had to change what we would have been doing for every client to make sure that it reflects this COVID backdrop. Because what we would have been talking about 2 months ago, it just doesn't sit well in this environment. Whether you're talking directly about something to do with the pandemic, or even if you're looking at the future, you just have to change your focus, and you have to really kind of understand where your tone sits. Empathy is critical at the moment. It's always been important to incorporate the human angle into whatever you're saying, basically, because if you don't, it's really dull. But I think with the current climate, if you look like you're just out there to continue selling or bulldozing your message out there, and you've got no consideration for what other people are going through, it just looks really poor. So that's kind of where we've been advising people. Not that any of our clients have been pushing forward anything absolutely crazy. They completely get it, and they are seeing the changes in their own industry, and that's the place for them to comment on it. But I think it's just about making sure that you do take a step back and you look at it and think, actually, if I were reading this, or if I were in someone else's shoes, is this appropriate? Is it?
Yeah.
Does it make me think well of this client or this company or this business? And if the answer is yes, then it's something you should be doing. And if you're adding value, then it's something that really helps.
Absolutely. And, you know, we think you're doing a great job for us. We're really grateful for everything that you've done to support us with your local dot delivery. And unfortunately, we have run out of time, but thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your thoughts with us. And it's been great.
Yeah, no, thank you both. And I hope you have a good rest of the day. And we're very much hopeful that your local dot delivery helps so many businesses out there across Kent and beyond. So
yeah, we'll appreciate
that.
Thank you, Caroline.
No worries. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.